This is not fun. This is not fun. The fact that this is happening again, like, I don't know what to think now. Like, I am having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that this is happening all over again, y'all. And my apologies for that video that suddenly went public. I thought it was a video that had been posted, went unlisted, and was going to be fine afterwards. That's why I put it back unlisted, because I didn't realize I never published that video back when some of the stuff was happening several months ago, but unfortunately, some stuff is happening yet again. So if, like, this has been going on, like, this whole thing started, like, before noon, and the only reason it's taking until now for me to do a live stream is, like, I just got home, family gathering was going on, but let me explain to y'all what happened, and hopefully things will make sense as to why I am not in the best mood. So, I'm sure y'all remember between December and February, I went through the copyright strike issue over on Twitter. Between that few-month period, ended up getting 9 strikes overall, and after a bunch of emails being sent through, some strikes getting retracted, and the rest getting successfully appealed, all 9 strikes were gone. Now, the last time, like I mentioned, one of the last live streams that I did, that I managed to get an email back from somebody within the company of Mark Sand Enforcement themselves. And that was around the 18th and 19th of February. And according to the senior manager there, he said, saying to clarify that Mark Sand had not taken any action resulting in the removal of my videos on Twitter. And after a handful of emails, which included screenshots of the email takedowns, anything that I had to say back and forth, the links to any tweets that got removed, okay, right here. So, like, I'm reading the last email I got, which was February 19. They said, thank you for sharing these. And this was after I included the links to the email, the takedowns that happened, and all the emails that I got showing the bodies of these DMCA takedown notices. They said, thank you for sharing these. We are investigating and we'll get back to you. That was back on February 19th when I spoke to the manager, the senior manager of the company. I have not heard back from him to this very day. Okay? It's been 4 months now. Think about that. So, one of the tweets that stood out that got targeted was my gameplay playing the video game called TWC4 Fight Wrestling, which was... Oh, excuse me. 1 second. Hey, what's up, Jack? So, that tweet, like my tweet caption said, a preview of the debut episode of the planned TWC4 Fight Wrestling PC game series for the channel if things work out properly for this. If you don't know what the game is, look at any of the Matt Dickey wrestling video games, and essentially you add mods to it for like visuals and stuff like that to add more real-life wrestlers, like characters and everything to the game. So more of a visual upgrade and some tweaks. I uploaded a small clip from my first episode where it included Curry Man coming after me. I uploaded the clip, which was like less than a minute, over to Twitter. And the only audio in that entire video clip was my voice. That was it. I made sure to mute any desktop audio because I was using OBS, because I had to do a bunch of workarounds to get the game to work properly and have it show in a window so I could screen capture it properly. But I made sure that Why am I getting freaking notifications on my phone now? All right. Notifications going off and shit. Sorry. But that clip, I made sure that I listened to it back. The only audio in that entire video clip was my voice because I did voiceover commentary for it. Nobody else's audio was in there. There was nothing from the gameplay or anything else in that video in terms of audio. Then February 15, shortly before 11 a.m., the video got taken down. And it became and it was listed being as under Mark Scan Enforcement. Ishita Singh, being one of their higher ups, having her name attached to this, with their name, their location, phone number, and email address, and then saying Mark Scan Internet Enforcement Team at the bottom of the body of the DMCA takedown notice. Now that email, because it gives you a statement when you get a takedown on Twitter, it said, "Dear Sir/Madam, I am contacting you on behalf of the AFK creators," and then AFK in parentheses, "and the record companies it represents. The AFK is a trade association that represents around 1,500 major and independent record companies in the U.S. and internationally who create, manufacture, and distribute sound recordings." The AFK represented companies, also in parentheses here. "The information set forth in this notice is accurate, and under penalty of perjury, we submit that we are authorized to act on behalf of the AFK represented companies in the matters involving the infringement of exclusive rights that the AFK represented companies hold in their sound recordings, including enforcing their copyright." So the tweet, they took it down, and they said that the claimed name of the copyrighted work says AFK-TWC Special-Universal Music Group. But as I just mentioned, and I have this re-uploaded on Facebook and Instagram, the only audio, and people have heard this, so they can come in to my defense if they wish to speak up saying that they've witnessed this. The only audio is my voice. Nothing owned by Universal Music Group. They don't own my voice, and my voice is not anywhere elsewhere because that was original commentary for the content itself. So that got taken down. I think that was one of the ones that I appealed because I know afterwards I eventually got the retractions. Let me make sure because I still got that email too because I keep all this stuff. Because I know there was, yep, there it is, February 22nd. Yeah, that was one of the ones that I actually had to appeal because that was not one of the ones retracted by MarkScan when I contacted their senior manager with the links to the emails or with the tweets, probably because it was pending the appeal and everything. And let me see, I should have the email saying when that got overturned. Okay, yeah, that's my Twitter support. I got a bunch of folders here, my email address. That appeal... Yeah, that appeal successfully went through, and the tweet got reinstated on March 4th, 2025, around 4 in the morning. So, they said in that, through Twitter support, saying that we're ready to let you know we've ceased withholding the material located at and gave the URL. To happen after receiving your DMCA counter notice, which we forwarded to the original reporter. If you've already deleted the material, the counter notification content won't be reinstated. I kept the tweet. Okay, I did not bother deleting it. Because I know I was in the right. Because when you file an appeal, they have the person who is being given the appeal information has 10 business days to respond. Either they reinstate it, they do nothing, or they sue you. Well, that tweet I just mentioned just got hit again today. At 11:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the only reason I'm not screen showing this is because I don't want to show my email address in here, so I'm trying to do it for privacy reasons. But it said, "Hello, the following material has been removed," and they gave the URL to the exact URL. The only difference here is it says /video/1. But I mean, it's still to that exact tweet, and I even have it here on my tab over here. In fact, I think it should be okay for me to show here. As long as Firefox won't allow me. Whoop. Sorry. There we are. You can see here, this is the exact tweet. The exact same one that got taken down February 15. Just like only a week after it got posted, it got taken down. Hey, what's up, Bio? But this was a tweet they had posted February 8th. A week later, it gets taken down, and they said, you're using somebody else's audio. Got reinstated about almost a month later. Because again, I just mentioned March 4. But now it's down again because a DMCA takedown notice got filed on this tweet again. Like, okay, there we go. Sorry. I don't, you guys can tell I don't use StreamYard all that often, so I'm trying to go with what I can. But you saw there, right there, that the tweet, the media in there is friggin' missing again. Because I got the takedown notice this morning, and the body of the email for the DMCA takedown notice where they give their statement is the exact same thing as the email given on February 15th. The only difference is the URL just now has /video/1 adding the URL, but everything else that I read to you earlier with the statement is the exact same, saying on behalf of AFK creators, and the name is AFK-TWC special. Like, I already appealed this and won. Okay? The only audio is my voice. I have witnesses. But yet this, and even the information at the bottom is the exact same, saying Ishida Singh, location of the place, the phone number, contact email, and saying Mark Scan Internet Enforcement Team at the bottom of the notice. Like, this doesn't make sense. How can you successfully, completely appeal something, and then all of a sudden, like a few months later, after everything's been peaceful and quiet, you get another DMCA takedown notice on the exact same video, and they claim the exact same reason, saying that it's on behalf of this company. Like, it's absolutely nonsense. Because now to say that I am violating AFK creators' copyright, when once again, I said this the last time in the last appeal, and I did so in this appeal too, the only audio is my voice, and yet you guys are doing this again. It's like, Markscan claimed back in February when I contacted them, saying that they were not behind the takedowns that happened before, and they would, or investigating would get back to me. But yeah, here we are, after almost 4 months, have not heard back yet, and it's like there's no explanation here. Like, let's say it is somebody else doing this. Like, let's give a hypothetical here. How exactly do they have Ishida Singh's information to give at the bottom of the DMCA takedown notice for contact information? Like, it doesn't make a lick of sense. Like, if it was somebody doing this and doing an impersonation thing, how do they have that information to give at the bottom for contact information? Like, I've sent out a mass email as well after the appeal for every email that I can find and still had in my contact list linking to Mark Scan Enforcement, including to Ishida Singh and their senior manager and any of the other ones that came from the other DMCA takedown notices. Because it's like the fact that this is literally a copy and paste thing, and it's the exact same thing as what happened back in February, is absolutely nonsensical. Because this freaking DMCA takedown notice does not have a leg to stand on. Like, I already know about that. The wrestling stuff was also bogus, because I went to the wrestling show just a few weeks ago, back on May 17, and I actually talked to the promoter face-to-face in person after the show, and he knows that those strikes that happened to me were absolutely nonsensical, because he's never heard of Mark Scan Enforcement before. No paperwork or anything like that. So it's like, I knew that was bogus, but it's like, for this to happen again and being the exact same statement as the last time, and the fact that it's still been like 4 months since I heard back from Mark Scan Enforcement about like their investigation, it's like, what did they find? Because like, I know they had to have done something to get those other strikes retracted a few days later, because that's the only way. So it's just like, this doesn't make a lick of sense. So it's like I said, I filed an appeal again. I sent out like a mass email to like multiple email like contacts that could be linked to any of this to try to get answers, because there's some explaining that needs to be done here, because how does this happen again? Like, it's one thing if you get a strike. Like, I know there have been some YouTubers that have had issues where they get a strike from a company because they legit use their content, even if it's under fair use. They get something resolved and then they get a strike from that exact same company on that content again. But the thing with those is that they're using other people's material, so there would have to be a battle there. Then they would have to claim fair use, and there would be like the whole debate. But here, it's a second time in a row where my material, because it's my gameplay and only my commentary audio on there, gets targeted and gets falsely claimed on being on behalf of somebody else who doesn't own any of the sound recordings in that video. So it's like, I don't get how this has happened again. Like, I'm waiting for somebody at Markscan Enforcement to get back to me. Because, like, I sent them an email, like, around noon, so it's been, like, a handful of hours. And I know they run on a daily basis. I found their schedule. Okay, you can find that elsewhere. But, yeah, it's just, like, the fact that this is happening all over again is just absolutely moronic. Because, like I said, everything's been peaceful for, like, the last few months. As soon as all the strikes disappeared, by the time, like, early to mid-March happened, everything had been completely calm and silent. But now this is happening again. It's just, like, something has to get looked into in this, because again, this doesn't make a lick of sense. So hopefully that's everything. If anybody has any questions, like after this stream goes to the channel, let me know in the comments. I'll try to reply in case anybody would like anything cleared up. But yeah, I'm sure people are listening to this and they're confused too, because like, again, this strike has no ground to, like, no leg to stand on. And it's completely false. I know it. So anyway, let me know y'all thought in the comments section below, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm gonna go play some Pokemon Crystal and have some fun.